everyone, and welcome to the GameCola podcast number 35. I am Alex Jedraszczak, here with Paul the Franzen, Christian Seaport Porter, Nathaniel the Hoover, Colin the Green Machine Greenhalgh, and David Donovan. Everyone, introduce yourselves. What do you do for GameCola?
Hi, I'm Paul Franzen. I'm GameCola's founder and editor-in-chief, and I also write news posts, and I write the column Minus the Pudding, the best of Xbox Live indie games.
I'm David Donovan. I write reviews. I've started writing kind of a Minecraft journal fiction thing as well, but I've been stumbling around China for the last month, so I'm kind of behind on things, but now I'm here, so hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, I guess I should follow up now that I'm talking now. Hi, I'm Nathaniel Hoover. I edit articles on GameCola. I lazily administrate the GameCola YouTube channel, gc.net. Check it out today. And I also occasionally do this Sprite Flicker Sprite comic and Flash Flood columns and random reviews, fiction, basically any category on GameCola that has gone for too long without having any new updates to it. I write something for it.
I'm Christian Porter, and I have written small amounts of stuff for just about everything on the site except for comics and fiction. I think that's accurate.
Good, you're not muscling into my territory.
No, I wouldn't dream of it.
Neither would I.
Wait, so that means you're not going to be taking over the gates of life for us?
Guess I could.
Oh.
I don't know that I'd be very good at it, though.
Hi, I'm Colin. I don't really do much for GameCola anymore. I do some art every now and then, and I say I go to podcasts, but then I don't show up until one randomly way later.
Well, don't sell yourself short. You've done all of the artwork basically on the main site, and I think you're working on an article with Michael Gray right now too. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I heard a rumor.
I've been doing. I do art for the articles. I did all the art for the Layton series that got put up, and I'm doing some. He's doing a Castlevania article, which I'm going to start doing some art.
Everyone's been introduced now, right?
Yes.
Yes. Got a big show today.
Wow, we do have a lot of people. Paul Franzen,
yeah.
did we not recently receive some more viewer comments?
We did. We received a whole bunch of new comments on the last podcast when we posted it on the YouTube channel. I will not be reading all of them because, quite frankly, there's thousands and thousands of them, and that would take a very long time.
Yes, there are millions of viewers. Yeah.
Yes. But I did call out a select few. But real quick, if anyone else wants to contribute, you can post comment on the YouTube page if you're watching this on YouTube, or on the GameCola article if you're listening to there, or if you really want to be super cool and gain some real brownie points with the GameCola staff, you can email podcast at
gamecola.net. Yes.
If you have anything you'd like to say about this episode, like how wonderfully organized it is, for example. But anyway, we did get several comments. First from RizzyMan33. He asks, Paul, how excited were you when the Back to the Future game came out?
Actually, he didn't ask that. Don't answer it because there's no question mark. It's not a question.
So does that mean I'm not allowed to answer?
Yeah, it's just a statement.
Oh, then I will not be answering that statement. Next from Saxdude Malloy. I'm very. The answer is very.
Couldn't resist.
Next from Saxdude Malloy. Saxdude Malloy S26. On the last podcast, we were talking about games we were looking forward to in 2011. He had a few more to add. He also suggested Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, the 3D HD version, Kingdom Hearts 3D, Portal 2, which is a glaring omission on our part, quite frankly. Wait, unless we actually mentioned it. In which case, anyway, the new Dissidia game, whose full name I will not pronounce because I can't.
Isn't it in Latin
Pokemon
or
Black
something?
and White. Sorry?
Isn't it in Latin or something?
Yeah, it has a lot of
It's
words.
something ridiculous.
In it, and Pokemon, which I believe just came out recently. He also wants to know where the fudge are Episode 2 of Sonic 4 and Oddworld Munch's Exodus, which I have no idea. Are they even gonna make Episode 2 of Sonic 4? Didn't everyone hate it?
I hope not.
Isn't that coming out after Half-Life 2 Episode 3?
I don't know.
Come on, it wasn't that funny. I didn't deserve any laughter. You guys are too kind. Getting soft on me. Reader
And
mail!
finally,
Anyway.
Also from Sax Dude Malloy, this last one, in reference to video games skewing the line between reality and fantasy, he wanted us to mention Final Fantasy VII. Quote, the characters grow on you so much that the end of Disc 1 will make you cry. That, and you learn some really important morals from the general compilation of Final Fantasy VII, such as embrace your dreams. So, I guess we could have talked about that.
But some people here still haven't played it.
Nerd.
Eris dies.
What?
Stop it!
Oh.
Not in the version I played. I got Game Shark. She lives. They all live.
Wow.
Also, Sephiroth is in my party.
Wow.
So that's it for comments again. Email, podcast@gamecola.net. We will all be your friends if you do that.
Yeah, please email us.
I'll consider it.
Please.
Podcast@gamecall.net. Anyway, who has a topic? Let's talk about some video games or something. Is that what we do here, talk about video games?
Occasionally.
Yeah.
Talk about beards a lot, too.
Yeah, tea.
Tea.
Talk about tea.
Video games!
Oh, I think I heard Nathaniel suggesting he had our first topic.
Yes, I apparently do have our first topic, which, coming right off the top of my head, is about adventure games, because as maybe somebody noticed at some point fairly recently, I wrote a review of the adventure game Gemini Rue, which comes highly recommended. Reading my review of it also comes highly recommended. You should do that first and then play the game, which is highly recommended. And on top of that, I started playing Back to the Future, the game, or possibly Dash, Episode 2. Get Tannen, which we also discussed, Michael Gray, if I recall, discussed on the GameCola website, So, been playing a lot of adventure games recently, and something I wanted to bring up, well, first of all, who here actually plays adventure games aside from Paul?
We're all raising our hands.
Yeah.
Oh, fabulous. Okay,
Better
so
all be raising your hands.
we'll have a little bit of topic motion here. Good. My question, which I'm finally getting to, is whether easy adventure games, that is puzzles that aren't terribly challenging, games that you can just breeze through even without a walkthrough or on your first time, are easy adventure games any more or less satisfying than ones that are otherwise of the same quality but have really, really difficult, frustrating puzzles that make you think super hard and bang your head against a wall sometimes.
Well, I mean, if you put it like that, I mean, personally, I don't like being frustrated when I'm playing video games. I have gotten to the point where if I'm spending more than 10 or 15 minutes on a puzzle, I'll just look it up in a walkthrough just to negate that. Like we talked about the Whispered World on the last podcast, and I had that problem with that game where there are a lot of really, really difficult puzzles, and if I did not have a walkthrough handy, the game probably would not have been as much fun for me just because I would have gotten frustrated and stopped playing and snapped the disc in half at various points throughout the game.
Well, also, there's a difference between difficult because it makes you think and difficult just because it's completely random and doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's sort of what I'm talking about. Just the contrast between the extremes of this is a completely nonsensical puzzle, maybe it can be figured out, maybe you need a walkthrough for it, versus here's a super easy puzzle that requires no thought whatsoever, that's incredibly obvious solution where you're not even trying and it takes the game out of adventure game.
Well, but I mean, you can still have a difficult puzzle, it has a lot of steps that you have to go through, or you actually have to think about it. You can have difficult because it makes you think, and you can have difficult because it makes no sense.
Well, no, that's fine. But I'm saying, again, not here's a difficult puzzle, but it's a fair challenge, or here's a difficult puzzle, but it's a lot of fun. It's given the option between super, super easy puzzles and super, super difficult puzzles. Which one is a better adventure game?
I don't know if there's much of a difference, really, and here's why. It's because if they're super, super difficult, you're just looking it up, you're just going through the motions, and if they're super, super easy, you're just going through the motions. Somewhere in the middle is where it needs to be, somewhere to cater to my inability to problem solve.
There's no such thing as gray. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I think the two extremes are almost the same thing, just because of of what happens in the end. You just look it up or you just do it.
Good point.
I don't know. I've definitely played games where it's just a straight shot. You just read text and then you solve a very, very simple puzzle and then you just read more text. Like I reviewed a game called Jake Hunter. I forget what the subtitle was, but let's go with Ace Detective, where the game was... Me. I mean, it was basically just that. A lot of text and then super, super simple puzzles. And I actually found that fun. I didn't see it so much as just the same thing as reading a book, basically. I thought it was just a cool little adventure where I'm guiding the actions of this story without necessarily putting a lot of creative input or thought into it. I don't know. I'm okay with games where the puzzles are super, super simple. I think I'm more okay with that than with annoyingly challenging. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on what you're looking for in the game. Like, are you looking for something to waste time, or are you actually interested in the story? Because, books are just kind of incredibly boring games.
Where the puzzle is, can you turn the page? Do you know how to turn the page? Now, that's interesting, though, because, and the reason I brought this up in the first place is playing Back to the Future after playing Gemini Rue. Now, I absolutely loved the first episode of Back to the Future, the game. Even though most of the puzzles weren't horribly challenging, there were a couple of good ones in there and some thinking, but nothing detracted from the story. Nothing was so difficult or complex that it really took me out of the moment and made me go, stew for a while, that this story kept moving. And then I get to the second episode after having this phenomenal game experience that, as I wrote in my review, for a time was the greatest adventure game I had ever played. And then I come back to the Future, which was previously one of the best games that I had ever played as well, that I just really enjoyed. And the story's not hitting as hard, and all of the puzzles are really straightforward. The first act, I guess, if you can say, of the game was a series of here's a single screen, and here's 4 objects or people or whatever. Interact with them. Okay, you're done. You've solved a puzzle. Hooray, move on. And there was not... Maybe I've just been solving too many puzzles recently, but it wasn't that much of a challenge, and it really wasn't satisfying because the story wasn't drawing me in. And that's baffling to me because story is like the last thing I ever play a game for. I like Mega Man. We don't have story.
Yeah, you do. Dr. Wily's back.
Shh, don't ruin it.
And this time, he's an alien robot.
Shh, don't double ruin it.
This time he's Paul Franzen.
Okay, now that's just far.
Beard Man.
What was it?
Wait, what would my superpower be?
No, you were, what was it, Dr. Cossack? Is that what it was?
Yeah, was it you who pointed that out? Or was it Nathaniel?
No,
someone?
If it had anything to do with Mega Man, it was probably me.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
It could have been Medio. He reviewed some of those games, too.
That's true. But it was me.
Yeah.
So that's my little adventure game musing. Unless David or Colin has anything to contribute. Has.
Yeah, the only thing I was going to add in is on the topic of puzzles being too hard. I remember when I was probably about 8 or 9 playing Monkey Island, first adventure game I played, and I knew how to solve the darn puzzle. It was the one where you have to, I can't say the solution. Wait, I can't do that. I knew what to do, but it was
which is this? Is this 1 or 2? Monkey Island 1 or 2?
The first one.
Okay.
And it's where you have to get to the island off the ship. Maybe you remember. I knew what to do. Yeah, I knew what to do, but it was an issue of like the order in which to click things. Like I just could not figure out as a child. And it was just an issue of like, no, you do it this and then this and then this, and it like did not work. So I did not actually solve that puzzle until about maybe 10 years later, I think. And when I got to it, I
play
did
other games in the meantime.
Yeah. Well, I thought about it.
He was just playing this constantly. Every day he would try it again.